All right, we're on section 7.5, mortgage points. And today we're talking about when you go to a lender to buy a house, should you buy down the rate with mortgage points or discount points? So a mortgage point is a fee paid to a lending institution for the purpose of buying down or lowering the interest rate. Mortgage points are also known as discount points. So this is another name for the same thing. And the usual cost of a point is 1% of the loan amount. So when faced with the choice of whether to buy the discount points, it's important to do the math and compare the costs with and without the discount. So Elizabeth and Nicholas want to buy a new home in Sunset Park. They need to borrow $550,000, so that's their loan amount. And the bank offers the opportunity for the couple to buy down the quoted interest rate of 3.25%. They can buy it down by 0.25% per point purchased for this 30-year mortgage. So let's just check that out for a second. So 0.01, 1 point of 550,000. Go ahead and get your Desmos calculator ready. 550,000 times 0.01 is $5,500 just for 1 point. But they're doing, what will the new rate be if 2 points are purchased? So if I want 2 points, I'm doubling that. $11,000. Okay, so for each point, I take off 0.25 from the rate. So if our original rate was 3.25%, 1 point would get me to 3, but we're buying 2 points, so we take off another 0.25%. So the new interest rate would be 2.75%, and that's at a cost of $11,000. So that's a lot of money. How much is this rate even going to save me per month? That's the question we need to ask ourselves before we just decide to do this. Okay, so this is your answers. What will the cost to purchase 2 points be? And what would the new interest rate be? 2.75%. Okay, in example 2, how can Elizabeth and Nicholas determine whether or not the purchase of the points makes sense? So let's calculate the payment before the buy down and then calculate the payment after the buy down and see how much savings they would get. So you need your Desmos to do the big monthly payment formula. So remember, 550,000 is our loan amount. Rate before the buy down was 3.25%, so 0.0325. Please make sure you're typing this in with me because you are going to be copying and pasting this into your Desmos. Now you can put to the power of 30 times 12, 30-year loan times 12 months, or some of you have realized that that's just 360 months. So you're doing power of 360 each time. To save you time, you copy and paste this back part to the denominator, and then don't forget the -1. So here's my first payment, $2393.63. And then I'm going to copy that entire formula and paste it again, and I'm going to change the rate. 0.0275, 0.0275, 0.0275. So here's my 2 payments. Okay, now I want to know the difference between the two, $23.93 and 63 cents minus $22.45, my new lower payment. I'm going to round to 33 cents. So it's only $148.30 in savings. Huh, I expected it to be a little bit more for such a high cost, didn't you? Trying to get all three of these in the same screenshot. Hang on. Nope, it's not happening. Okay, so first payment $23.93.63, second payment $22.45.33, and when I subtract that, here's our monthly savings. So let's write down the steps. Calculate the first payment at the original rate. Then we calculate the new lower payment at the buy down rate. Subtract the two payments to see what the difference savings per month will be. Okay, well, there's still one more example here. We still have to do the break-even point. So see up here where it says, how can we calculate the break-even point? So the cost, which we calculated in number 1, the cost of these points is $11,000. So technically, I'm putting a whole bunch of money out in order to buy down this rate. So if I divide the cost by the savings, I'm going to get a number of months. And so 11,000 divided by 148.3, that's 74 months. That it would take me to realize that savings. How much is 74 months? Well, 72 months is 6 years. Yikes, that's a long time. So when does this make sense? The break-even point is 74 months. That means up until 74 months that you live in the house with this loan, you are essentially paying off the cost of the discount points. But it makes sense if you plan to be in this home and in this same home loan for over 6 years. So for every month after that 74 months, now you're really seeing true savings. But before that, you're basically paying it back like it's a car payment or something, you're paying that back. And so it doesn't make sense. Let's say you are just trying to buy a house for 5 years while you're stationed in a certain location. Well, then it would not make sense to buy that much in points because you're not even going to realize the savings the entire time you're there. Okay, so 6 years or more, it makes sense. And the last question they're asking us is, well, what would you save over the life of the loan from the purchase of that 2 points? So if there's a 360-month loan and 74 months are paying back the cost of the points, that leaves 360 minus 74. Let's go see how many months that leaves in true savings. That leaves 286 months of savings. Well, what is my monthly savings? 148.3. So that's $42,000 that I'm actually going to save over the life of the loan. So that's a lot of money if you stay in the same loan. Are you going to stay in the same loan? Well, statistics show that most homeowners refinance every 5 to 7 years. So you got to really stay in that loan to make this make sense. For a cost of 11,000, which is pretty hefty. Okay. So what's the answer here? How much will Elizabeth and Nicholas save over the life of the loan? They will save, if they stay in the same loan, they will save $42,413.80. So that's not too bad if you do stay in that same 30-year fixed. What do you guys think? I mean, $11,000 is a lot of money. You might just want to keep that for furniture and not buy down the rate. Keep the higher payment. These are the fun conversations you're going to get to have someday when you adult and when you buy a house. All right, we're done with our 3 examples. That's the end of notes. Good job. Don't forget to click turn in.